Urban explorers refer to the fortress as the crown jewel of Sydney's stormwater drain adventures. Hidden beneath the bustling city streets lies a vast tunnel system stretching over 2 kilometres in length and soaring up to 10 stories high. This subterranean labyrinth isn't just a drain, it's a marvel of urban engineering, complete with natural slides, eerie balconies, and the roar of the Pacific Ocean echoing through the tunnel's outlet at Lurline Bay. Over the years, this hidden world has transformed into an underground playground for adventurous kids who would daringly body surf through the chutes on weekends, making it a one-of-a-kind haven for thrill seekers. But there's a catch. You can only explore the fortress at low tide. And rule number 1 of drain exploring? When it rains, no drains. As simple as it sounds, this golden rule separates a thrilling adventure from a deadly gamble. This golden rule was immortalised in the Manifesto of Michael Carlton, better known as Predator, a legendary figure in the urban exploration scene of the 1990s. Predator wasn't just an enthusiast, he was a trailblazer, pushing the boundaries of what lay beneath city streets. Yet for all his love of sneaking into stormwater drains and hidden tunnels, Predator understood the ever-present risks.
So what happens if someone is critically injured and could die down here in the drains?
We never explore alone. We take spare torches in the event that they fail. We don't go in on days when it's threatening to rain. You know, just basic, straightforward common sense. It's kept us alive. I think it'll continue to do it.
He knew that for those daring enough to embrace this shadowy world, danger, sometimes fatal, was always just one misstep away. Drawing from years of experience, Predator poured his knowledge into a comprehensive guide, a sprawling manifesto on the art of drain exploring. Dated 1999 and posted online, this document became a Bible for thrill seekers, detailing how to navigate the myriad of dangers lurking beneath the city. From avoiding entrapment in pitch black tunnels to recognising the silent threats of toxic gases, filthy water, and even aggressive nesting bats.
You tend to get things like methane on ceilings, carbon dioxide in some much like caves. The main sort of vapours that we've encountered have been things like people, dumping things illegally in the stormwater system.
Predator left no hazard unaddressed, but this most crucial advice was reserved to the manifesto's final chapter, aptly named, "Oh shit, it's raining," a name that underscores both the urgency and stark reality of drain exploration. It was here that Predator outlined the dire consequences of getting caught in a drain during rainfall and how to cling to your last shred of survival when the floodwaters start to rise. The odds of surviving a drain during a downpour? Slim to none. But Predator, ever the pragmatist, offered a glimmer of hope. According to his manifesto, an alert explorer has between 2 and 4 minutes to get out, up a shaft, onto a high ledge before the system is primed. Those precious minutes, he emphasised, could mean the difference between life and death. For those few moments, Predator's words became a lifeline. A few minutes, which when used appropriately, can make all the difference to the length of the rest of your life. The signs are there, if you know to notice them. An escalating roar as the small tributaries spill into the main canal, a sudden rushing of air from upstream. These subtle changes are the first warnings that the drain is awakening. Predator's advice was unambiguous. Run, head for the nearest downstream manhole shaft and climb higher than the grimy bathtub ring clinging to the walls, the unmistakable watermark of the last flood's reach. It will be loud and frightening, he cautioned, but breathe calmly. Conserve your airspace. In the drain, every decision in those moments could determine whether you live to tell the story. The danger wasn't just the water itself. In a large catchment area, a few minutes of rain can funnel millions of litres of water into the drain, transforming it into a raging river. Along with the water comes an arsenal of debris, planks of wood, broken furniture, even discarded refrigerators, hurtling through the tunnels at speeds of 50 kilometres per hour or more. This chilling insight sheds light on what must have confronted 3 individuals exploring the Kingsford stormwater drain, dubbed the Fortress by Predator himself. This place of awe and danger now serves as a shrine to his legacy a haunting reminder of the peril that comes with venturing too far into the depths. And it is within these dangerous settings that a tragic story unfolded in 2008, years after the Predator's warnings had been etched into exploration lore. On Sunday, January 20th, 3 friends and fellow graffiti painters gathered at Dwayne Banish LaRosa's house for a casual afternoon of hanging out and drinking. Holly Flaps Leggy, a 21-year-old graphic design student, and Michael Plan Malinowski, 27, owner of Sydney's leading graffiti supply store, joined Dwayne, a 25-year-old graphic artist who had once been commissioned by the council to create a graffiti art wall. As they shared drinks and stories, Michael brought up an idea, a spark that would ignite their ill-fated adventure. "I've got the maddest spot to paint. I've been there lots of times. It's a crazy place for graffiti artists." The allure of exploring a hidden, untouched canvas was irresistible to Dwayne and Holly. Painting in a place where they wouldn't be disturbed with the added thrill of secrecy was too good of an opportunity to pass up. The trio piled into Michael's car. They were unfazed by the fact that Michael was still drinking and had no licence, a consequence of losing it 3 times previously for drink driving. But for them, the risks of getting caught or being on the road with Michael seemed trivial in the face of the adventure that waited. As they drove through the streets of Sydney's eastern suburbs, the anticipation grew. Though this particular location would be a first for Holly and Dwayne, exploring hidden urban spaces was familiar territory. They likely felt a mixture of exhilaration and curiosity, imagining the artistic possibilities waiting for them beneath the city surface. But little did they know, this outing would lead them into the very heart of danger. At around 5:30 p.m, the trio arrived at their destination, parking Michael's car in a quiet back street along Movelli Road in the Sydney suburb of Maroubra. Armed with spray cans, a few drinks, and boundless creativity and a shared sense of adventure, they were ready to explore. Their entry point into the infamous tunnel was a manhole, its 40-kilogram lid surprisingly easy to lift despite its industrial design. Beneath it lay a 4-metre shaft that dropped into the dark, damp underworld of the fortress, a stark, almost surreal contrast to the lively suburban streets above. Once inside, they found themselves in the graffiti junction room, a space already adorned with layers of vibrant artwork from others who had come before. Here, they took their time painting, drinking, and soaking in the thrill of their hidden hideaway. After a while, they ventured further, descending from the dry platform below the manhole and into the maze-like network of tunnels, staircases, and pits. Each step deeper into the labyrinth seemed to carry them further away from the safety of the surface, but their excitement drowned out any sense of caution. They left subtle traces of their presence behind, a long-necked beer bottle and a carton of vanilla milk, markers of a moment shared in this secretive subterranean playground. They wandered deeper into the tunnels, moving casually, completely unaware of the storm brewing above. What had been a sunny, dry day had quietly transformed as massive black clouds crept over the city, bringing with them an impending sense of danger the trio couldn't yet perceive. Immersed in their creative flow, they remained focused on what they loved most, sharing drinks, laughter, and the rhythmic hiss of spray cans as they transformed the damp walls into vibrant murals. For them, this wasn't just about art, it was the thrill of being in a hidden, forbidden world, a secret realm humming beneath the bustling streets of Sydney. The fortress offered them a sanctuary for their creativity, but beneath the sanctuary lay a ticking time bomb they didn't know was about to go off. Although the 3 of them were accustomed to exploring deserted urban environments, it was clear they were inexperienced in recognising the dangers that lurked beneath. They were certainly unaware of the Predator's Manifesto, the guide that might have saved their lives. In it, Predator had warned about the telltale signs of an impending flood and the critical need to react instantly. Sydney's stormwater drains are engineered to channel rainwater rapidly to prevent surface flooding, and even light rainfall can cause water levels to rise alarmingly fast. But this was no light rain. What unfolded was the worst case scenario. For about an hour and a half, the trio had been absorbed in their art, oblivious to the world above. Time seemed to stand still in the tunnels as they laughed, painted and listened to the faint sound of dripping water, punctuated by the hiss of their spray cans. The quiet was deceptive, masking the growing danger. Suddenly the stillness was shattered by what Michael would later describe as a noise like an earthquake, the unmistakable warning of a flash flood. By the time they realised what was happening, the floodwaters were already racing towards them, carrying the full fury of the storm above. The water hit them with a force that was impossible to resist. Travelling nearly 4 metres per second, it knocked them off their feet in an instant, sweeping them deeper into the labyrinth. Chaos erupted as their screams were swallowed by the deafening roar of the flood. The once solid ground beneath them became a torrent of rushing water, and their struggle to stay afloat turned desperate. In the chaos, the tunnel that had felt like a playground only minutes before became a deadly chute, pulling them inexorably towards their fates. Tumbling through the darkness, they collided with rough concrete walls, battered and bruised, carried along by debris, planks of wood, bottles, and even larger objects, until they reached the end of the line, the steel bars at Lurline Bay, a 2-metre wide outlet where the floodwaters thundered into the ocean. Here, at the very edge of the fortress, the torrent delivered its final blow. However, Michael, who had explored these tunnels countless times before, carried a crucial piece of knowledge, one that would ultimately save his life. In Predator's Manifesto, there was mention of a gap in the steel bars at the tunnel's outlet to Lurline Bay, a gap Predator himself had created years earlier using a car jack. As the pounding waters roared around him, Michael managed to find an opening and slip through. Moments later, he was free, escaping the torrent with only a scratch on his hip. Holly and Dwayne, however, weren't so fortunate. In the chaos of the flood, without knowledge of the escape route, they were swept towards the bars with no chance to find an alternative. The raging water trapped them there, leaving them to succumb to the relentless force of the torrent. Their bodies were pinned against the steel, the furious floodwaters claiming their lives in an instant. The bars that had once served as a barrier for safety became a cruel symbol of their entrapment. In the aftermath, questions arose about Michael's actions in those critical moments. Some accused him of abandoning his friends, prioritising his own escape rather than guiding them to safety. Others argued that in such a desperate and chaotic situation, survival instincts often take over. But the truth, whatever it may be, was something only Michael could carry, adding yet another shadow to this already dark and tragic tale. While Holly and Dwayne remained trapped with no means of escape, Michael's story took a dramatic turn. Struggling in the pounding seas off Lurline Bay, he was spotted by father and son, Steve and Luke Simmons, who immediately sprang into action. Armed with their surfboards, the pair paddled out through the crashing waves, navigating 50 to 100 metres of turbulent water to reach him. When they got close, Luke quickly realised the extent of Michael's distress. He was visibly intoxicated, panicked, and barely able to stay afloat. Struggling to secure him, Luke physically grabbed Michael's arm and strapped him to the surfboard to prevent him from slipping off. With tremendous effort, they pulled him back to shore, ensuring his survival. Predator had made his stance clear in his writings. The last thing you want is to inflict the responsibility of rescue upon some poor SES member or a fireman who really doesn't need to risk his life getting you out. To jeopardise the lives of such people is selfish and stupid. And yet, despite his warnings, this very scenario unfolded. Lifesavers and rescue teams were forced to risk their own safety to retrieve the bodies, an outcome Predator would have considered the ultimate tragedy. Dwayne's body was found floating amidst the surging waves, while Holly's remains entangled against the bars, caught in the very spot where their escape had been cut off. It was a devastating conclusion, one that underscored the unforgiving nature of the world beneath the city streets. I hope you enjoyed this story, as tragic and harrowing as it is, and if so, please don't forget to hit the like button, and if you'd like to see more of stories like this, I'd like to see you go ahead and subscribe. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.